I would like to support the idea of what our power is to, I do believe in transparency in the commissions. And I do think I want to say thank you to Amber Fellows for your service. We appreciate a lot of the hard work and dedication you have to our city. And I do think we should do something to extend within our power to extend her seat for at least 90 more days while we're looking to transition. And I'm grateful.
I don't believe that we really hold our commission members and our commissions up in the esteem that they really should be held. And I believe that our commissions do a lot of work. They save council a lot of work that would really be on us if the commissioners weren't doing it. So I think we need to look at it, and I strongly believe that Ms. Dennis has done an excellent job. I see no reason for her to not continue, and I see no reason for Ms. Fowlers to not to continue as a commission member. And I'd like to hear your reasoning there for not reappointing them. I would really like for you to share it with all of council.
I was approached by several people about Ms. Dennison and asked to not continue her on the commission. And I was told that she was a loose cannon and not able to work with the other commissioners. And I heard that from a plurality of people, and I listened to the people that I heard from. Regarding Ms. Fellows, I'm not renewing her because she has been a bully in the community and she has engaged in many unhealthy behaviors, including shunning and ganging up on people, and I won't have that behavior on a commission. So I did not want to raise this in public, but that's my reasoning. And I stand by it. I want to have appropriate behavior out of commissioners. Being on a commission and serving on a regular basis does not mean that they deserve to be renewed. Also, this is a good piece of legislation. I have no problem with this. And I will support it if it comes forward in the form of a motion. However, this is exactly the kind of, we've seen a lot of this from the Human Relations Commission. A lot of navel gazing, a lot of tweaking about their own commission, no looking at the community, about the needs of the community, and how we can protect our community from the changes that are coming on, and the advocacy that they need, the poor people in our community need, and the people who are disenfranchised. Where are they coming? Why aren't we coming up with tools to help our people in our community from the Human Relations Commission? Why aren't we looking at economic development that emphasizes the people that are the most need in our community? Instead, we see this, how to make their committee stronger, okay? Their committee has great structure. I want to see that Human Relations Commission bring us things that will help our people in our community, not help the Human Relations Commission. You asked and I answered.
And I believe that the commission has been doing that. I've attended and sat in on some of their meetings, and I do believe that that's exactly what they have been doing. And I also, it's really hard for me to believe, I've sat in on some of the meetings where Ms. Dennis was at the table, and it's from her demeanor that I saw, it's hard for me to believe that she was rabble-rousing or causing problems on the commission. So,
put words in my mouth.
You know,
please.
What?
Don't put words in my mouth.
But that's what I heard.
No, that's not what I said, though.
Well, I'm saying what I heard, and I can say what I heard.
I've already had one person put words in my mouth.
I'm not trying to put words in your mouth. I am simply stating what I heard, and I can state what I heard. Now, I'm not saying that not trying to put words in your mouth, but I'm saying what I heard, and that's all I can say is what I heard.
I heard you the first 4 times.
So, okay. Well, you were still, don't put words in my mouth. So I'm stating what I heard. So, and I have seen good things come out of the Human Relations Commission. So I guess it's all in the eye of the beholder.
Is there any more business?
I'm done.
Thank you. Councilor Wilcoxen.
I have no business other than to say thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Councilor Somerville.
Sorry, I have a really long list. Would also like to ask one of my colleagues to support bringing up removing the flyering ban and also working towards getting public kiosks so we can distribute information across the city. I also had a resident ask for additional that's stuff's been sent. I do support transparency, and thank you, Amber, for your work on the Relations Commission.
Just for context, Bashert is about to respond to a portion of Amber's comment during audience participation earlier in the meeting, in which Bashert falsely attempts to deny that she has characterized residents that have pushed back on her policies the last 3 years as 20-something college students that aren't actually housing insecure, and not serious. This is inaccurate and an attempt to dismiss the legitimacy of housing insecure residents that advocate for themselves. Additionally, it is indefensible that Bashert believes it is okay to dismiss the student residents living in Ypsilanti who are also her constituents.
Forward to seeing you all there. I want to say one thing about some pretty unhappy things were said in my name that I've said today, and I have to say I'm the very least, Ms. Fellows, if you're going to say that I've said something, please at least use my style. I mean, that's not language I would use. That's not my speaking style in the slightest. I would never use that kind of language to describe a group of people. And so I'm actually highly offended, number one, and I think that you could do a better job of claiming that I've said something than that. So work harder next time. And with that, the city manager is not here today. Any communications from the city?
I think loose cannon is coded language. I want to remind everyone that at the time of the FOIA, from what's left, Mayor Bashert had nominated less than 40% of the people of color who had applied to positions on commissions, while nominating over 80% of the white applicants. She had failed to renominate 2 people of color, Toy being one of them, at least 2, that's all we know about. Toy being one of them, Amber is at least a third, and I think that if you wanted to, you could probably give individualistic reasons for every single lack of appointment, but that's not the point. The point is the pattern, and it's disturbing, and it's really not all right. And I mean, you know, this outburst of yours, it's like, I can tell that things are getting to you, and I would really strongly encourage you to consider that maybe you're wrong on this one. So I really recommend not only earlier I brought up sort of stonewalling of your commission nominations. I think that it's pretty clear that a charter change is also in order, and I highly support the other 6 of you think a lot about how to make that happen and how to give yourselves the power to at least make sure that if it comes down the line, you can stop this sort of thing from happening, because it's ridiculous.
I also do appreciate that Mayor Bashert shared some information about why she decommissioned the 2 people that we
talked about today in Toy Dennis and Amber Fellows. I disagree, but I see people denying harm to people in our community, and I see Amber failing to back down on their behalf. I see work being done on housing affordability as responding to a serious community need, and there's been a lot of work on that. It's taken a lot of time that is not paid on top of the work that we all have to do, on top of other responsibilities we have. And it will be deep and hopefully broad in terms of what we'll be able to bring forward. I also respect the fact that she's able to represent on the Human Relations Commission as a renter, as we don't have many of those across the commissions in general. And so when we think about who's valued and whose perspective matters, we need to think about all of these things when we think about representation. I literally have had the mayor tell me, sitting at Cultivate, about the small loud group and that they're transient college students, so that was language that was used. And I'm sure I'm not the only who can test these kinds of characterizations, as well as being in council meetings and having to deal with the derision level toward millennials on a regular basis. So it may seem that I come here for fun, just to be mean, as if that's what I would like to do, and not be home snuggling my daughter. That's not the case. But I simply will not accept any signs of white supremacy and patriarchy showing up hidden in the language and process of how my government works. It's been happening too long, but from too many people, and that's why we're at the place that we are today. Because I have a daughter and I refuse to turn down over a broken democracy because I was not willing to do the work that I could. People are leaving our democracy every day, some because of disenfranchisement that we call disenfranchisement, but there's lots of other ways that we can disenfranchise and disinvite people from the process. And they won't return, because as we continue as is, they are just going to break us. It's not, this is bigger than us individually. This is about not falling into fascism. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Simmons. I'm just going to say a couple of things. There's been a lot of questions about how I choose people for commissions, and I just want everyone to know that I'll sit down with anybody and explain the process. It's a learning curve, and I can always do better. I definitely acknowledge that, and but I'm doing the best I can. I do have thoughts behind every single choice that I make. There's reasoning behind it. It is not reactive. I do want to say that I will never apologize for my passion around civil rights and equality and protecting diversity. I cut my teeth in community organizing in this, and it is where I have my passion. You're right that I am frustrated with the Human Relations Commission because they are not doing their job. And it's very disappointing and hurtful to me, and I think it's very hurtful to the community, and I want more for it. And so, but I do have feelings about many of our commissions, and that's part of my job as being a representative of our city. I want to thank everybody for your time.
You're wrong.
And who has the motion to adjourn?